You look at the other collection of people that we're supposed to get excited about, like the likely choice for Secretary of State will be Susan Rice. I mean, she was vital to convincing Obama to intervene in Libya, which not only destroyed a formerly stable and one of the most prosperous countries in North Africa, but actually brought back slavery. No one talks about it. And it's now a hellhole that's run by a bunch of like fighting militias and refugees are constantly fleeing from and still drowning in the sea to get out of. And then, you know, on top of that, I mean, Susan Rice was on CNN over the summer during the largest protests that I can remember ever in my lifetime, the George Floyd protests, saying that Russia was possibly funding them. Like, that's so outrageous.
Serious?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
It's completely outrageous. Like, she was like with Wolf Blitzer, like having a full-on conversation about, you know, the Kremlin's trying to take advantage and divide, and they're probably funding some part of this.
They are probably also, I would bet, based on my experience, I'm not reading the intelligence today or these days, but based on my experience, this is right out of the Russian playbook as well. But we can't allow the extremists, the foreign actors, to distract from the real problems we have in this country that are long-standing, centuries old, and need to be addressed responsibly by new leadership.
Absolutely right on the foreign interference, because we know for decades the Russians, when it was the Soviet Union, the communists, they've often tried to embarrass the United States by promoting the racial divide in our country. But what you're suggesting, Ambassador, is that they're still trying to do that. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, we see it all the time. We've seen it for years and frankly every day on social media, where they take any divisive, painful issue, whether it's immigration, whether it's gay rights, whether it's gun violence, and always racism, and they play on both sides. Their aim is not simply to embarrass the United States, Wolf. Their aim is to divide us, to cause us to come into combat with each other, to disintegrate from within. And I would not be surprised to learn that they have fomented some of these extremists on both sides using social media. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that they're funding it in some way, shape, or form. And that's something that we need to take seriously, but we cannot allow it to distract us from the real problem that is an American problem that we alone can address. And we need leadership desperately, Wolf, that doesn't demonize peaceful protesters, frankly, from Colin Kaepernick to those who have tried peacefully to protest in recent days.
Colin Kaepernick actually should have talked about this with Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris suggested that Colin Kaepernick was also either, I guess, I don't know if he was working with the Russians, probably not. He was duped by the Russians.
He was a useful idiot. He was a useful idiot,
right? Yeah.
Wait, Kamala Harris said that?
Yeah. I know, this is such a funny show. It's like, wait, what?
Remember the heat that ended up around the bend the knee and Colin Kaepernick. Mm-hmm. Many smart people have said it actually was not a thing. Mm-hmm. The Russian bots started taking that on. Really?
Look at her face. Like, look at her face. She's like, I just broke some news. Yup. So you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? About Susan Rice? One of her big arguments for Obama bombing Syria was that he should just do it because he's never going to get congressional approval. Michelle Flournoy, who's the top pick for Pentagon, has the same politics. I mean, they come out of the same circles. They have the same politics. There's these very hawkish women. Michelle Flournoy founded this group with Tony Blinken, another high-level advisor to Biden, who's been in the foreign policy advisory role since the Clinton years. They founded this group called West Exec Advisors, which is basically just a lobbying front of consultancy that just connects, uses their government connections and their corporate connections, to keep this revolving door going. Michelle Flournoy was also at Boston Consulting Group, where she helped negotiate like $32 million in military contracts for various weapons companies. She also sits on the board of Booz Allen Hamilton, one of the largest weapons companies in the country. Like, I can't get excited about that. I'm a woman and I don't care. Like, I don't care. This is somebody who's extremely hawkish, who's literally said, like, in a professional capacity, that the U.S. needs to enhance its military capabilities to sink all of China's submarines and Navy ships in a 72-hour period. so that they know that they can't mess with America. Like, this is the mentality we're talking about. And I'm not saying this is special to Michelle Flournoy or special to Susan Rice. You'll get this from whoever Biden appoints, but they're trying to use the fact that these are women, and in the case of Susan Rice, a woman of color, to try and like suggest there's some sort of progressive, like progressivism, like this illusion of progress that doesn't actually exist. That's going to be in charge of branches of government. By the way, just FYI, so I actually just saw that Biden is actually likely to appoint Tony Blinken, not Susan Rice.
Oh my God. Maybe they heard our talk right now and they're like, we're not going to be able to get away with it.
Switch it to Tony
They're
Blinken,
on to us. Yeah. Hold on. We have to have a moment of silence. We have to have let's have a drink. Let's have a
cheers to Tony Blinken.
No, we have to have a moment of silence for Susan Rice.
Right. Keeping a black woman down.
Yeah. Tony Blinken.
I'm surprised he's going to be appointed.
But now I am mad, by the way, that if it's going to be a white guy, I'm mad. Like, why can't you have it? If it's going to be a powerful bad person.
Like I said before, it's the same ideology. It doesn't matter.
I know. And obviously, I mean, I actually find it more dangerous when there's like this cynical use because it is washing. Yeah. But also at the same time, I am like, come on, like representation is important.
I think the reason that Tony Blinken's going to be appointed and not Susan Rice is because the Republicans in the Senate have said that they will not allow Susan Rice to be confirmed because they're still obsessed with Libya in the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's
the
like
whole
Benghazi thing. You're the right country, the right Secretary of State. You're so close. It's Clinton, it's Libya. It's just not that. Yeah.
Yeah. But Tony Blinken he helped co-found this consultancy firm with Michelle Flournoy. And he has deep connections to like leaders around the world. He helped advise Bill Clinton and then later Obama. And he's like been a revolving door kind of guy as well. Very hawkish, though. The one thing he isn't hawkish on, and this is interesting, is he wants to go back to the Iran deal because he helped negotiate it during Obama's term. Okay. So actually, when Joe Biden was running, AIPAC was very upset about Tony Blinken's involvement.
Oh, that's good. That's a good sign.
Because AIPAC is turned into like a pro-Netanyahu Likud kind of like outfit. And anybody who wants to go back to the Iran deal, no matter how pro-Israel they are, is like not pro-Israel enough. If you have Tony Blinken as Secretary of State, and then Michelle Flournoy, who's the top pick to head the Pentagon, then they're just going to basically bring their firm into the government.
Yeah.
And it's just more revolving door stuff. Like once they're done being in government, they'll go back to their firm and they'll like use all their connections to make some more money for all the industries that they work for.
It only matters if Trump's doing it.